Welcome to Framework Fortune. I'm your host, Ben, and I've got co-host HHTrader here with us, and we've got crazy stuff to dive into. The whole Siga rug pull, if you've been in the stock market trading and watching that stock, it's a monkeypox vaccine stock, and there's something happening with all of this. HH, if you want to take it away from here.
Siga was amazing to watch, moving up, grinding higher, but something just didn't seem right about it. Every day, the movements, the patterns that we like to look for in charts, it just wasn't moving regularly. But it was on an uptrend. As you can see, it had a nice uptrend that it kept on checking off of and kind of bouncing higher. And it continued to get mentions on things like Wall Street Bets and in different Reddit groups. Mm-hmm. But oh boy, Friday, a piece of news dropped about Siga and about their main selling point that everyone was talking about, which was the T-Pox, which is a product that was supposed to combat monkeypox. And so FDA comes out and they say, hey, this product. At first, the first news that came out was like the FDA was about to put out news. And we were like, okay, that's cool. Everything's grinding up. Siga's probably just going to go on up to $30. And then later on in the day, me and Donnell, we were in the Discord talking about it. I said, Donnell, and we were looking at stocks that were following the sentiment of Siga as well. And so we were looking at GOVX. And we were like, man, GOVX keeps on lagging behind Siga. I wonder what's wrong. I mean, it should be strong, right? It's moving in the sentiment. And it started to form a head and shoulders pattern.
What was that on
and I
the
said,
hour?
That was on the, you can see it on the 15-minute. You can see it on the 5-minute. But I said, Donnell, I need a second opinion. I said, does this look like a head and shoulders pattern to you? He said, yeah, kind of. And I mean, not even, it was probably, I would say 5 minutes or so. Once we realized this is a head and shoulders, boom, the news dropped on Siga from the FDA that they had no human trials that were proven, that had proven the efficacy of their product. And boy.
Yeah, Siga really ate it. But I pulled up the news on this. Right in the morning, you see right here, this was 2:50 p.m. FDA says T-Pox is being made available through the CDC under an FDA authority call for expanded access to the treatment of monkeypox. But then you get up here, and that's when that news came out right afterwards. FDA currently says no human data. So why the FDA said this and then turned around and said this within that short time period? I mean, that PR dropped within a minute of each other. Now, this, to me, obviously is a Big Pharma rug pull. And I've talked about this a whole lot. H has talked about it as well. Big Pharma, they control the FDA. If they want to, they can shut down these smaller companies very, very easy. It's not hard to grease some pockets and get the FDA person who is doing the approvals, the one looking at it, or the team, to disapprove or do this type of thing here with Siga. But we want to find out, is it something more than just a regular Big Pharma rug pull?
Yeah. This drop, it went into two halts. It went into one halt at $15 and just stopped. And I looked over there and I was expecting it to be a T1 halt on that news. But it opened back up and it continued to fall to $13, right at that $13 mark. And it went into another halt going down. I was like, man, this thing's got to get a T1 on this news. But it was all volatility halts. And what I think is the people that were shorting this thing, whoever was short on Siga after, if you back up the chart a little bit. So you see this big, huge heel top that it was on.
Yeah, this was a
In the
massive
morning,
spike.
I looked at that, and I believe it might have been, I don't know if I was talking to Donnell or someone in the Discord, and they were saying, yeah, I might go in for Siga to do another move up. And I said, look at this big hill. This big hill does not look like something you want to buy into because, I mean, where's the bottom? Where would a
Yeah,
bottom be? You
yeah,
know,
way
the
back down
previous
here.
bottom right there, if you go over to the left a little bit, all right, this price right here is right at the $20 level. And I said, why did it run so far away from this $20 level without coming back and making a
Right.
strong point? You know, that's a lot of running up and a lot of people to take profit. So I said, I'm thinking that people are going to want to short this at least a little bit to get it back down to test the 20. And I said that in the stream. This thing came back and tested the 20 and tested the 13 and tested everything under the 20.
And we do see it came back up, but of course, this buying pressure immediately is these are shorters covering from
Yeah.
the top where they got in at the peak. I mean, shorters got up in here, and I'm sure that whoever is behind the rug pull was the shorter, the big shorter up here. And there could have been others, and of course, if you were not a part of whatever this rug pull was and just happened to be short and it caused that high, you got one hell of a payday off of this.
I draw a downtrend up there from the top at that pre-market and go down. Yeah, I would like to see if this thing is going to start to respect a downtrend on Monday. Like if it comes back up and tries to reclaim the 20 and fails that, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be bad, bad, bad. Because think about it. This was at the end of the day on a Friday. There are people that are
Yeah.
bag holders on this,
Oh yeah,
big
for
bag
sure.
holders.
For
And so
sure.
they're gonna want to get out, and that selling pressure may not be too good for this stock.
Yeah, because I mean, if they bought in, really late over $20 or something, and it drops down this low, I mean, that's over half your position gone. Most
Mm-hmm.
people's emotions are going to kick in and make them just hold it and be like, well, I'll let it go up some more so I can make some money or something. But yeah, we'll see what happens on Monday. But let's get into the real sketchy stuff that we've been looking at with this whole monkeypox and kind of how it started because it's made some mainstream news but not really as much yet until the last 24 hours. You said multiple articles are starting to come out on the monkeypox, and we've got a lot of those pulled up here. But the main thing is from that PR, directly from the FDA, they provided this update on the monkeypox outbreak, and came out. This was right around that same time that they said
Mm-hmm.
what they said from for Siga. FDA commissioner comes out. We understand that while we are still living with COVID-19, an emerging disease that made people blah blah blah, but it's important to note that we already have medical products in place, specifically an FDA-approved vaccine for prevention of monkeypox disease and an FDA-cleared diagnostic test. So there was already vaccines for this.
And the crazy thing is, these vaccines date back to 2017 and 2019. These vaccines have been in the works. And so what we were thinking with Stiga coming out with the T-Pox is that that was a big pump and dump, a
Mm-hmm.
huge pump and dump. Because we saw Siga, when I first saw Siga, I knew that I had looked into monkeypox and I was like, okay, this is a real thing that can get real serious. And as I was looking at it, I was thinking, I don't know what this thing's gonna do. That was when it was back at about $2 to $4, somewhere up in there. And over time, the circulation of and the mentions of Wall Street bets and Reddit groups pumped that stock to the moon. Now, when it originally started pumping, though, we looked at it and we were like, man, this thing always gives back profits. It has wicks, huge wicks back to the downside on those charts, and we were like, man, I don't really know if this thing's gonna be able to hold up.
Well, you also
But
called it out, monkeypox or the monkeypox whole thing starting to catch wind, and that Siga was
mm-hmm,
going to be a big ripper all the way
mm-hmm,
back. Let's see, when was it? Right around It was in May, right? Right through here.
Yep, yep, right, six some dollars. Actually, we had saw it in this dip to that 5.99. The
Yep.
first initial rip was that little blip on the map back there. You
Yeah,
go
this
back a
one
little bit,
here. Yep.
yeah, that little blip where we were like, this is crazy. This thing got up to almost $10, and then it came down, and the big boys were looking, and that looks like a double bottom right there on that 5.99, or what is that, 5.39 level?
It's a double bottom, but also you got that inverse head and shoulders pattern there. I just drew out too. I don't know if you
Yeah,
remember talking about that, but I just remembered that inverse head and shoulders.
yeah.
But yeah, there's that double bottom right down there at that low. Well, actually, multiple bottoms on the daily. I mean, that area was 550 holding up strong, but yeah, you can see that inverse head and shoulders, and that lead to that huge breakout,
hmm
which it
A
just
lot,
yeah, you just
a lot of
continued.
pump and dumps on here as well. There was a lot of fear in this market because you
Mm-hmm.
can see, even though it had big green bars, you can see some of those dumps are pretty massive as well.
Yeah.
Let's get back over here to the actual vaccines that are cleared with the FDA. See, the thing is, Peapox never did get any kind of clearance. People were just getting in on the hope that it was going to get cleared. You know,
Yeah.
that's all that was. That was from a $5 up to 20, almost well, I think it did touch $25 or something like that of hope.
Well,
That's a lot of hope.
they did get their hopes filled for a second when they came out with that news that the FDA had kind of approved it for emergency access, and then they immediately got that hope snatched right out from under them. You know,
hmm
that's what a rug pull is. But yeah, hopefully, if you did trade that or whatever, you were not in up there at those high prices. You know, you had got in and already profited off of day trades like uh, a lot of people in the community have in Framework Forge community. But the first vaccine is called, I guess, Genius. Is that how you pronounce it?
hmm hmm
And
Manufacturer is Bavarian Nordic. That's
it,
where they were talking about the monkeypox, and they go into further details later on in the article. But this was the first approval letter back in 2000, September 24th, 2019, where they were already working on this thing. They already knew. They already had seen it.
I want to note that it did start. The company is from Denmark, Bavarian
hmm
Nordic, which is part
Yep.
of the European Union. I'm pretty sure. We went digging into their actual website to see if we could find anything weird, which there's a lot of odd things going on, but not quite as odd as the second one. But one thing that we do want to point out in their board of directors is not actually some of these people in the beginning like you would think. It took a little bit of digging to find this member of the board of directors. And she became on the board in 2019. We go back to the FDA.gov and we can see 2019 when that approval letter happened. Okay, so maybe coincidence, but let's look and see who she is. So she is a Danish national born in 1963, but she has a huge list of acolytes, way more than anybody else on this board of directors. And we're going to run through them really quick. She was former senior executive vice president and global head of corporate and institutional banking at Danske Bank AS, which is a Dutch bank, and chief commercial officer at the same time at Interim AB. Now, currently, she holds all of these positions: chair of the board of Money Flow Group AS and its subsidiary Money Flow 1 AS, deputy chair of the board of Financial Stabiliteit, this is the Dutch SOV, so I'm probably saying that wrong, member of the board of FLS Smith & Co. AS and its subsidiary FLS Smith ANS again, Knud Hogdreds Fond, and two of its three subsidiaries, VL52 APS and Den Danske UNICEF Fond, CEO of EA Advice APS, faculty member at Copenhagen Business School, Board of Educations, which is one of the bigger schools in Denmark. So she is on all types of boards of different companies, all through Big Pharma, financing, all of that. And I would say it's not a coincidence that she came around and things started uh, changing here for Bavarian Nordic.
Look
Take
at
it.
her special competencies: extensive finance, risk management, and ESG experience, as well as board experience from publicly listed companies. So
Yep.
she's been all over, bro.
Yep, exactly, exactly. Sometimes you would think it'd be the obvious person, but usually it's not the obvious person, okay? You actually have to look into the information. Don't just go off of the picture. You can't judge a book by its cover, because trust me, I really wanted to research him first. But anyway, so that's something, that's something to consider looking into more, see if there's any connections there somehow. But obviously, she is a big part of this board and a lot of boards, and something to keep an eye on. But the second drug, this is where it got interesting. And if you want to tell them about this drug here.
Yeah. This is our 8 cam 2000. It is the manufacturer is Emergent Product Development Gaithersburg Inc. Okay, and this is another one that got a approval letter back in 2017. So these two have been in the works for a long time. But Ben was pointing out to me, I looked over the information, but he looked even more into who's running the organization and why they got the position that they have.
Yeah. So if you go to Emergent and you go to their About Us, and you can also, that's how we also found the board of directors on Bavarian. Most stock companies will have their board of directors. This is where it gets really crazy. Now, looking at this picture, they're all supervillains. I mean, this is Super Karen, we know for sure. But this fellow here, even his name is supervillainy. Zolt. So, obviously, he interested me right away. Now, let's go through everything that he's done before he came to Emergence. He served as a director since August 2004, but he served as chairman of the board of InGene Research Laboratories Inc., a privately held biopharmaceutical company, since March 2011. Prior, he served as CEO and chairman of the board of directors at Exponential Biotherapies, a private biotechnology company. From December 2004 to February 2011, he served as president of Porton International, a pharmaceutical and vaccine company. From January 1983 to December 2004, he was a founder of the Dyneport Vaccine Company LLC in September 1996. Prior to that, he was vice president of corporate finance at EF Hutton. All before that, he was directed the first assessment of biotechnology for the U.S. Congress Office of Technology Assessment, and served as consultant to President's Commission for Study of Ethical Problems in Medicine and Biomedical and Behavioral Research. Who was the president during that time? During 1996?
Clinton,
Our
Mr. Clinton.
our old boy Clinton, and we know how that's how holy the Clinton Foundation is.
Now, not only did he serve, but you got to look at what he served for: the
Yeah,
study of ethical problems in medicine and biomedical and behavioral research. So
yeah,
he got to see, when they do those population samples
yeah. The
of people.
eugenics, or even like,
Yeah. Like, how is this? How is this going? Is this legal enough not to kill everybody?
yeah, exactly. Or if you've ever heard the stories about soldiers coming back with PTSD and being experimented on with LSD and things like that. This has been way long time ago, not the new psilocybin research. This is stuff that was federal, private things, but there's always been stories of this type of stuff going on. And the fact that we even have a commission for the study of ethical problems in medicine and biomedical and behavioral research, I mean, what? There's two ands in the title. How much taxpayer money went into somebody typing the two ands in the title? Okay, if that is just the beginning of where the tax money iceberg starts, then I don't want to see how much more tax dollars this company and these other big biofarm companies are that are working with the government, because we did see with Bavarian, Genios, and some other vaccines, they're actually working directly with the U.S. government. So same thing as here with the board, or this head chairman of the board for Emergence has worked with the U.S. government not too long ago. So there's all types of smelly and stinkiness and rotten politicalness behind this whole monkeypox thing. Not a surprise. We've been seeing all types of that.
This is one of those things where it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. You know, when you have somebody on your board that has his toes and foot and all of his calf muscle in a certain sector already, and you're talking about working on something where the competition is steep, but the competition doesn't matter because of who you know.
Seems pretty obvious. Nothing is for sure. This is all speculation, but Siga did get the rug pulled. That big of a drop is a rug pull. And clearly not a normal rug pull. There's something bigger going on, especially with all of these headlines popping up now with monkeypox in the news, and the WHO, the World Health Organization, claiming monkeypox a global health emergency. Was it a week ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're going to start seeing all types of PR probably on this, but companies that are in the stock market that are saying they're going to have the vaccine, every single one of them is going to be in the same victim pushed off a cliff as Siga, because Emergent and Bavarian already have it locked down and have had it locked down for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I would say is if another company does pop up, they are not only going to have a product, but we're going to have to keep an eye on who is in their leadership. Who's on that board? Can their credentials match or get even close to these these superpowers people that are on these other boards? Like, are they within the same power level? Like, it's almost like having Goku on your team, and you're fighting little kids. It's like it's not fair, you know.
And then just one more thing to point out, actually two more things.
Mm-hmm.
This was an article by CBS. U.S. spots first monkeypox case in pregnant women as cases climb. Something that they always say, it's on every medicine bottle, is pregnant women are more susceptible to get these diseases. How
Mm-hmm.
to spell
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. They said the same thing with COVID. And my thing was, even in looking into COVID, later on they were like, oh no, the men, they're getting hit harder because if you think about it, pregnant women are their bodies are fighting for two.
Yeah.
They're not just gearing up for a one front battle. They're looking for a two front battle at all times.
Yeah, they have
And
stronger
that,
immune systems.
exactly, and
Yeah.
and stronger reactions to these antigens and these different attacks or mutations that these viruses can take on different forms.
My final question is, and we're gonna Google this. Neither one of us have looked this up yet. I'm gonna do it right here on this recording. How many cases of the monkeypox were people who also got the COVID vaccines? So let's see. Fullfact.elf. No evidence rise in monkeypox cases is linked to vaccine. Okay, so okay. Let's first look and see who this fact checker is with this website of Full Fact. Let's see who we are. Bad information ruins our lives.
Ruins people from Siga's lives, especially.
So what we do, we fight bad information. First, we fact check claims made by politicians, public institutionalists, journalists, as well as viral content online. So yeah, here we go. How we do it. Full Fact is a registered charity. We're transparent about funding. Okay, well, I'm curious about that. How we're funded. We're launched by Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. What did now? Not just read that. How they were funded somewhere else. How we're funded. Full Fact is a registered charity. We were launched by a cross-party group, and our board includes representatives of different political parties and viewpoints. So this fact checker's board is full of different political party representatives. So this is not ran by random people. This is ran by politicians. We just found that out. They just straight up told us. Look at them with their Instagram and their Facebook.
Funding and independence at the bottom. Okay, neutrality. We have rigorous safeguards in place at every level of our organization to ensure our neutrality. These have been carefully constructed based on advice from our board and examples ranging from Amnesty International to the BBC. Okay, so the BBC is saying that they may be okay. They include the cross-party board, fundraising safeguards, a conflict of interest policy, restrictions of staff political activity, feedback processes, operating guidelines, external reviews, and more.
No.
So they have a policy in there to restrict staff political activity. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
but their board is full of politicians.
Go to their team, our team.
First, I gotta know, where did his other ear go? Did monkeypox claim his ear? Seriously. He looks like Elon Musk went on a bender with Hunter Biden. And then they had a baby. And then his ear got bit off by an alligator, the same one that got Chubbs. Alright, anyway, let's So let's find out about Will Moy here. Even the name. This is gonna be hard for me to stay serious and not keep roasting this guy. Okay, he is the chief executive, so he just didn't decide. He didn't put an O on there. I guess he's modest. I mean, if you only got one ear, you're going to be pretty modest anyway. So it was pioneered automated fact checking, and it began in 2008. He gave Royal Statistical Society's Royal Statistical Society. Just the name of that just made me cringe. Beverage lecture, Other Truths Are Available in 2018. Other Truths. His lecture was Other Truths Are Available. I'm starting to see where this is going. He served on advisory groups for ESRC, Ofcom, the Pew Charitable Trust, and the Treasury, and regularly gives evidence to select committees and other inquiries. He's advised the ONS on Communications Review, Marketing Academy Scholar in 2018. So I don't think this guy, of course, like I said, you'd think he'd be the villain with the one ear and all, but I don't think it's him. Let's see if we can scroll through here real quick. Prior, she worked with the BBC in the editorial roles, which she could have left and maybe is on a good... Oh, wait a minute. She served on an advisory group for Cabinet Office, the United Nations Statistics Division. Okay. All right. Okay. Head of automated fact checking. So this is automated fact checking, and we've got Wolverine on meth who is handling this. Alright, now clearly Wolverine had been on a bender and he jacked a 7-Eleven. Just one claw out, just one claw. Give me the money, bub! And then after that, they picked him up and made him the head of automatic fact checking. Boy, this board is hard not to roast, man. This guy here, I'm just gonna leave him alone. Anyway, Andy leads our automated fact-checking team and is. I'm sorry, just saying that out loud and then seeing his picture, I couldn't finish. And his focus.
He looks
Okay.
happy, man.
Yeah. Oh
Happy about
yeah.
life.
Yeah. He's been up 8 days straight and seeing butterflies and chicken farts that are colorful. So yeah, he's definitely happy, man. Anyway, let me try to get through this. Matter of fact, you read it. I can't get through it.
Andy leads our automated fact checking team and is focused on ensuring our automated fact checking technology is developing in line with the needs of fact checkers around the world. Andy was previously the chief publishing officer of the Office for National Statistics, and prior to that, spent a decade working in product and technology roles at the BBC. So these
Okay.
people that have the connections to the BBC, of course, BBC is well known.
Biggest broadcasting in Europe is the British
Yeah,
Broadcasting, whatever. They're like equivalent to US's Comcast or
yeah.
something like that. I would even say maybe bigger than Comcast. Yeah. Oh wow, he's got a lot of things here. Let's see. He's the head of policy and advocacy. He is responsible for securing changes from those in governments, parliaments, the media, internet companies, and beyond that influence people's exposure to bad information and its harms. Nonprofit leader with over 25 years experience in advocacy, campaigning policy communications, digital for charities and international development, human rights, and environmental NGOs. And there been a little bit something about environmental NGOs in the stock market lately. So where did he headed advocacy for INGOs Care International and Action Against Hunger. Policy, this is international by the way, Policy and Campaigns Director of Bond, the UK network of international NGOs, co-founder of Make Poverty History, one of the biggest campaigns Britain has seen. He's many coalitions and campaigns in the UK and internationally that have combined lobbying and citizen action. Combined lobbying to, oh my God, and citizen action to win on social justice causes. So we have right here, folks, the big daddy boss level of SJWs, and how dare him wear that awesome beard.
I mean, he's been an advocate, so whatever he stands for, of course, he's going to be lobbying. I mean, he's going to want to persuade people to believe his side.
Their team is
Yeah,
full of politicians. They do not have a policy that says that their staff cannot talk about politics, and then they have literally a huge activist on their head of policy and advocacy, like a really big activist. So I mean, the rest of the agency staff that. So here's one of the fact checkers. For 15 years, he worked as a freelance feature writer for The Guardian, Prospect, The New Scientist, making maps of immigration, explaining citizens, and debunking superfoods. Bro, we've got the superfood debunker on this fact check. Do you know these facts are fully fact checked? They're so oh man, I'm so happy how fully fact checking they are. They're checking these facts, just filling everybody full of the facts. All right. Anyway, guys, obviously there's so much nonsense going on with this. Beyond just the normal research, it took a lot of digging. Both HHTrader spent a whole lot of time, and then me just digging as fast as I can through that research and a little bit on my own. And it's just, there's way more to this. Not enough time to cover everything, but let us know your thoughts or what research you find down in the comments below. If you haven't yet, H, tell them where to go.
we do have a Discord as well where we continue discussions on topics like this. You can always check out the Discord. The Discord link will be in the description. It is the fastest way to get in contact with me or Ben.
Yes.
We are very active in the Discord. I talk to people all the time in there, different traders. Love seeing the different ideas, different perceptions of these events that happen, not just in the stock market or in a specific market, but just in the world in general.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, come and check out, join the Discord. You can check out my channel as well, HHTrader. And I do live streams pretty much every single morning. Live analysis of the stock market, kind of see where we are, and yeah, come check
And
us out.